Hi everybody, welcome to one of our podcasts. We have Dylan. I don't know what your surname is actually, Dylan.
Cundall.
That made me laugh. Dylan Cundall, and so anyway, this is
Karen, actually,
and this is actually Dylan. Yeah, great, amazing. So do you want to tell people how we met?
So I went to the RGU Freshers Fair and was just walking around all the stalls and came across these two lovely, crazy people.
Didn't I approach you and go, I really like your bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like something I do. So what struck me about you is that you had a really nice bag. And you're with some other people, you're in a group, I think, from memory, and your bag is lovely. And then you told me the story. Do you want to tell people your bag story? Because we actually call you the bag man.
Yeah. So I was actually, I can't remember the name of the award, but I was actually given an award for, I think it was like young people's creations, to encourage young people to do a project. And I'd already made a bag with my own money, but it had completely failed. It was like completely wrong. I hated everything about it. So I applied to the funding to be able to get more materials to be able to make a better bag, and spent ages redesigning and remeasuring the complete muck-up, and managed to come up with a final design that I was happy with. And then every day before work I would spend like an hour or two making, and eventually, after many weeks, managed to have the final bag, which was far superior than the previous one.
But you don't just make bags, do you? You also make...
No, I do jewellery as well.
Yeah. What's your company called?
It's just Dylan's Creations at the minute.
Yeah.
The jewellery is the focus I'm doing at the minute, because if I were to spend an hour doing leather compared to doing an hour doing jewellery, I could have a finished piece or two of jewellery than the leather. And with being at uni, I'm short on time, so trying to get finished pieces is a kind of focus.
Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff. Your stuff's beautiful, actually. So, and we spoke about at the Freshers Fair about that we AbSafe could support you in some way, because I felt that you were underselling it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things about business is that you need to be your own. You need to sell it. And even every time you meet somebody is a selling opportunity, whether you see that or not. Yeah. And I think it's really important that people who run, like, cause our charity is really a small business, for want of a better description. We're a small to medium business, even though we're charitable and we're funded. We're still a business. So we have to promote what we do all the time. Yeah. So unless you get into the habit of that, it's very then difficult. Then how do you make that business go to the next level? And
and I think it's a bit harder in Dylan's situation because you're literally selling you. You know, we're kind of hiding behind the guise of AbSafe, so I find it much easier to go on social media and be like, oh, look how great we are. But if it was my social media and it was my face completely at, I wouldn't be so okay with that. So I totally get why you might find that a bit difficult. You're too humble. You're too humble, Dylan.
You're a little bit shy.
I am a little bit shy.
I'm not.
A little bit. I'm definitely a lot better than I was, but
yeah. It's nothing wrong with that, actually. But you are. I suppose.
One of us has got to be.
Yeah.
Counteract the other.
Balance.
But I think it's really important that you the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. Yeah. And I think if someone says to me,
you can very much tell that you're the embodiment of AbSafe. You.
You are AbSafe everywhere you go. Buy me. Yeah.
We even have hoodies that we wear out of work with AbSafe on. That's how obsessed we are.
Non-work colours.
Non-work colours. So we actually have I've got a pink one and you've got a grey one. Because that's your favourite colour, apart from black.
Green.
And green.
My favourite colour.
And do you know what? He actually hates yellow.
I hate yellow.
I don't know why you hate yellow. What's your favourite colour?
Blue.
Oh yeah, my favourite colour is blue, but I wear a lot of pink. Because blue's quite dark.
Yeah. What does it need to be?
Well, it's not as bright as pink.
We're a bright blue.
Yeah, I suppose, but my favourite colour is midnight blue.
That seems to be you problem.
It feels like a me problem actually, but I wear a lot of pink. So I wondered if it'd be okay if we could talk to people about your dyslexia.
Yeah.
And I think you're slightly dyslexic, I'm slightly dyslexic, you're definitely dyslexic. and it affects us all differently, right? So for me, it's not reading, it's recounting and spelling and grammar and sentence construction and all the things that you have to do. With you, it's what? How would you describe it a little bit?
Spelling, structure, but honestly, numbers. I'm really bad with numbers.
You've got dyscalculia a little bit, haven't you? So I think it's good that people know it affects people in different ways, because I think it's a little bit like I'm dyslexic and people say, well, you can read, and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with my reading.
Yeah.
That's not how my brain
that affects.
It's how you transform the information is the way that affects me the most.
It's more than just the letters, like even organising stuff. My organisational skills are shocking, and it's because of that. I didn't know that.
Mine, that's the thing about sentence construction for me, is because that doesn't work very well in my brain.
Yeah.
And
it affects every part of your life.
But it's interesting because I write like I speak.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't like the fluffiness of it. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I can read quite complex stuff and understand it, but I wouldn't be able to replicate it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to write to that level.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people how your dyslexia maybe empowers you, but how it affects you?
So I find that it gives me a very different way of thinking, and I love the creativity and the problem solving way and the solution finding that your brain can take when it's thinking differently like a dyslexic. And that's definitely helped me throughout my whole creative time through high school and further, and has also, I don't know if that's what's given me confidence, but like I don't care what other people think, I'm just happy to go out and do it.
Do you think it's changed? Because I don't think obviously I know it might be a bit of a shocker, but I'm older than you two. I know. I don't just a tad. I don't think it was probably discussed at all. Actually, not even.
Definitely.
I mean, it just wasn't mentioned. You either had the kids that could do it and the kids that couldn't.
Yeah.
But because I'm quite gobby, I kind of masked it, I guess, with my verbal skills.
Yeah.
So what it did was allow me to increase my verbal skills, which actually are amazing. So rude.
No comment.
No comment.
But yeah, now it's a lot more common, a lot more known, and before people wouldn't have been diagnosed, and then you kind of feel like you're just struggling and not doing very well. But because I was actually informally diagnosed in primary 4, so I was very, very young when I was.
Can you remember how you were affected by it? Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember because I didn't know this, but my mother and the school have been working together to do the diagnosis, and I didn't know about it.
Covert.
So even though I was diagnosed in primary 4, I think it was primary 5 or 6 when I remember struggling so much with everything. Every single day after school, I would come back and we would spend 3-4 hours just doing the same 3 words, because I couldn't get them into my brain. It was the memory of holding it, and we would spend like double, triple the amount of time as any other person would, and I still couldn't get it. And I remember absolutely breaking down in front of Mum and saying, just why can't I do it? Why is everyone better at me? Why? And I just couldn't understand. And that was then Mum then told me that about dyslexia and what it was, and that's when I was first acquainted with it at like primary 5, so I think that's like 8 or 9, I think. Yeah. I then spent a lot of time with the teacher and Mum, and we made a presentation explaining what dyslexia was and what I struggled with, and I then did that to the class so that they could understand, because I was feeling a lot of pressure from the other pupils on me because I wasn't doing as well. And that made everybody kind of loosen off a little bit and had a lot more kind of mutual respect, and they could appreciate the verbal skills and the other creative things that I could offer, but it was just that spelling and reading aspect.
How big was your primary school?
That's a good question.
Like, was it a big primary school? Or
No, it was a medium, so I would have said 200.
That's still quite big for some schools.
Maybe 150 to 200, something like that. So it was a medium-sized
I think one of the things I've always struggled with are tables, like time, like
Same.
I hate. What do I hate? A spreadsheet. I hate a spreadsheet. I don't understand spreadsheets. I don't know what they're for. They're pretty pointless to me. You love them.
They're useful. I love them.
You have.
They do the maths for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even that, it doesn't. I can't. And even timetables. So
Yeah.
I've always struggled with timetables. So like, if you want to get a bus.
Yeah.
I get a bus anyway, but want to get a bus. Like I used to really struggle to pick out what time the bus was and work it out.
What?
And it would take me ages to work out where the bus was coming to, when the bus was coming. And even if you get a train,
yeah,
and then you've got like, I don't know, you get in and you have to swap trains,
yeah,
I have to write it down and I have to keep on looking at it.
Yeah.
You know, I have to keep on going, right, and I have to keep on looking at it because I can't retain
the information.
I can't retain that information. And I didn't know.
Because it's not in your format.
No, so I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So when I did my first degree, they wanted to test me for dyslexia because they couldn't believe I was so stupid. She kind of went, I've met you, what's this? And I was like, well, and I just said, it doesn't matter, it wasn't really affecting me. And I suppose at the time I should have.
Yeah.
Because I would have been I was already a qualified nurse, but I would have been about 25, 26.
Yeah.
And I suppose it would have been helpful to have that diagnosis maybe. I don't know, but I didn't. And I just went, I'm all right. I'm doing all right. And I felt I felt like I'm doing okay. And I think it's, if you want a diagnosis, then great. And if you don't, that should also be great.
You are who you are. And
And I would rather have the skills I have, funnily enough, rather than the written skills.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm quite happy with my skill set. I don't know about how you feel.
Oh yeah, I would happily trade in my skills, and I'm happy with where I am.
Yeah.
I think I would rather be dyslexic if I wasn't.
I just know. I'm alright, thanks,
If you don't mind me asking.
I am 20.
20, so quite a bit younger than me. I was just going to say, it's funny, because you got diagnosed really early, so it was really young to notice it, but not much just like came into play kind of after. Because I'm 28, so only like 8 years later.
It wasn't done officially.
Yeah.
It was the school, because I was like 3 years behind in like the literacy and all that jazz, like the actual aging, and they aren't allowed to diagnose people, so they just got a copy of the
They've got to get an
test.
psych in.
So they got a copy of the test, and they just ran the test, but they're not official, so they're basically saying, we've done it, we're not official, we're suggesting by the results that it could be. And it wasn't until university that I got the official one done where they said that I had severe dyslexia.
At least you were kind of validated when you were younger, so you just went, this is it.
Yeah.
And that's really, people slag off schools a lot, I guess. But that was really good. That was a really good move by the school. Definitely. And your mum. Your mum sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, she fought for it a lot, and that meant that I got support throughout the whole of high school. Although the stupid school system, you've got to prove you're dyslexic every year.
Yeah, I figured that out as well when I went to uni, and they didn't help me. I was like, what's going on? You have to go tell them. Go figure.
No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. In high school, every single year, I had to do a test with support and one without support to show that there's a significant increase, and you've got to reapply and re-get the reader, the writer, everything.
I would have done so much better at uni if I'd have had somebody, if I could have spoken my answers. I literally would be a genius.
No, I liked writing, I just needed more time to do it. I needed the extra time.
No, I can't write like I speak.
No. I'm better, I think.
Do you think?
Yeah, I can order my writing more than I can order my speech. I'm definitely a better writer, but it's because you've got more time to do it. Speech is something that's happening as it's coming out. When I'm writing, I can take that, put that there. I'm sick at writing, and then I speak and I'm like, oh.
You can't read your writing though.
That's another point altogether. Typing, I'll say typing then.
You wrote something once, that's my best writing, and I went, no, still got, no, that's no.
Yeah,
I have this theory, Ken loves this theory, that we all came from caves, we won't mention fish. And actually our brains aren't really geared around language, as in written language.
Yeah.
Our brains are geared around verbal language and storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that we push everybody down this language route where, English language isn't easy to learn anyway.
Left brain.
Yeah, and actually, organically...
We're social animals.
And it's storytelling. That's how we got by. This is, and this is how we carry data in our DNA, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you laugh at me all the time, but it all comes from caves. I keep on telling this. It's not from fish, it's from caves. I love this. Because that's what people forget. Like, written language is so new for the general population.
Yeah.
Relatively in our brain development, because we've got fish brains, reptile brains, kind of mammal brains, than human brains. And I think that's some of the problem.
Yeah.
Is that we haven't allowed people enough time to find their way, and every bit of that is a gift, and not just written language is not.
Well, it's not key.
No, I mean.
If you understand what I mean, then.
Yeah.
You quite like grammar.
I do. I always have.
So he likes using which I still don't know. Do you know the semicolon thing? Is it called semicolon?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually puts it in sentences.
Helpful.
It doesn't make any difference to me. He goes, put a semicolon there. I'm like, I don't know what it means.
It's almost like, do you want a full stop? Do you want a comma?
Yeah, make up your mind. What's the matter with you? Make up your mind. Honestly, you're so greedy all the time.
But you use the little hyphen thing. It's the same thing.
No, hyphen is just, I quite like a line.
But it's the same. Well, it should have the similar meaning. You're adding a bit of information on or something.
Yeah, that's why you.
That makes a lot more. And a dash makes more sense.
See?
Where are you dashing off to? Right?
We are dashing off for more information, Ken. That's what we're dashing off for. So.
I'll tell you why I like semicolon, right? This teacher was in fourth year, I think it was English, and she had this mad thing about comma splicing. So we had a whole double period on comma splicing. So since that day, I've never done it again. So when you use a comma in the wrong place, she was like, semicolon!
I know you can.
So Miss Giles, if you're watching this, thank you.
No, Miss Giles, no thank you. You've made him obsessed with semicolons. I don't even know what they're for. I remember ages ago, obviously, so I'm talking over 40 years ago, and we were sat in an English class, and I don't know what her name was. I mean, I don't think she'd be alive now, but anyway, she was, she did a lesson on commas. Then what happened, then everybody just put commas everywhere. So the next, essay she got in, there were 30 commas in 3 sentences. Hello, comma, how, comma, comma, comma. And she was like, no, you're too much, it's too much. I was like, oh.
Give up.
So I just underlined my titles in really nice coloured pens. So I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got me by. That got me through out of English actually. So now you've met us.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
A couple of times.
What do you think of the charity? What do you think of some advice we've given you? Do you think it's been useful? Do you think, what would you tell people about us, I guess?
It's amazing actually coming down to see the place, because when I met you at the Freshers Fair and just describing yourselves, I didn't really have a full understanding of it, but actually when I was here last, actually seeing the setup, seeing the rooms, it's an amazing service, an amazing almost gift to young people, and as many people that can see it should see it, because it's definitely support that's needed. It's
quite interesting, quite visual. It's quite interesting, isn't it? It's a visual thing.
It's not just someone sitting down screaming at you, don't do this, don't do that, you're meant to do this. It's kind of a safe and interactive visual, and it's a lot more engaging.
How have you found the conversations we've had about your amazing kind of jewellery stuff and bag stuff?
It's definitely given me more motivation and to kind of be more active now instead of kind of waiting and holding off for the future.
I think you've got the gift, and I think there's something about self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
You've got to stop that. Stop it!
Yeah.
Stop it!
It's the confidence thing. You need to believe in your work.
Believe in it.
Like we do.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly it. And I know it's harder, say when it's yourself, you're selling, but you will sell it. You need to do that. We've met you, we spoke to you.
Yeah.
You'll sell it if you just be you.
Yeah.
Replicate that online.
And it is about doing those little time-lapse videos.
Yeah.
It's about letting people know that what you make is authentic and it's original and it's local.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something about that and actually have somewhere that people can pay. I was trying to order something off one of those, not on the Insta, I can't remember what it's called, and I couldn't get to the I'd ordered it, it's for a friend's birthday, and then I was trying to pay for it and I couldn't pay for it, so one of the chatbots was like, oh, this only opens in Google Chrome, and I was like, how annoying is that? I'm not going to go back
No.
I mean, it's just, you know, you try and shop local, and you try and shop at businesses that aren't on Amazon.
Yeah.
But actually, the upshot was I went on Amazon, ordered 3 gifts for the same price that are going to arrive there tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So there's something about that we need to get better at people being accessible, because people don't want to be having to open stuff and.
People won't.
People will do the easiest thing, and if it's not easy, they won't do it.
If there's not a buy now, instantly, people don't do it.
No.
I can't be bothered.
No.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
No.
So people want to buy your stuff, where do they go?
Yes.
I guess that's the next question.
So the way I currently have been doing it is, all the work I've done up to date has been commission based. So I've been making both my Instagram, and also I've got an email, just that's information that I'm trying to get out. So then if somebody wanted a commission, they could contact me with that. But in the past month, I've been working on a set of jewellery that I've produced, that's all made from Aberdeen shells and things that have been found locally, either here or in Caithness. And I've got them sent off to be hallmarked now, hopefully arriving tomorrow.
Oh, exciting.
And I will be looking to sell those. So I was thinking when you were speaking if I should do it put it on my website, or I know you can sell through Instagram, but I don't think that's a very good idea. But
do you have a website?
Yes.
You have a website set up?
But dyslexia does many things, so it takes a lot of effort to do anything on the website. It goes through like 5 spell checkers and it's still wrong.
I would stick with Instagram.
Yeah.
Because the harder part then is driving people to your website.
Yeah.
You've already got traffic on Instagram, and you'll get organic reach there anyway.
Yeah.
People are on it.
Yeah.
It's easier. We had a website, but for a year, and then we were like, what's the point? Delete it. You had no traffic on it. Unless you're really working every day to drive people there.
Yeah.
Well, we're having our website rebuilt just because it's helpful for us to have a website, but actually there is very little traffic on that. But I think we have to have it because it's got stuff like our trustees, and we're going to publish our account to just kind of do that stuff. The stuff that.
It's good to link everything, kind of like her for your socials on a website. It's good for like.
But I think Instagram, TikTok. I mean, we said those time lapses on TikTok would be great.
Yeah. I would get a TikTok on the go on Insta, because you can sell on both.
Yeah.
So we'll put it on our TikTok, because we had quite a lot of likes on that TikTok we did on.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Like, even though you only get like 400 views on it, if you're getting 40 likes, that's an amazing.
We had more than 40.
That's an amazing engagement.
Do you know how many likes we had?
No, I don't.
Oh, we had about 48.
Well, there you go. That's I can't do maths. 14% engagement rate.
Let's call it that.
Round it up. 20.
Let's round it up. 20, 29, 37.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so we try and just do quick stuff. So it's not a lot of. Well, it is a lot of planning. It's just I plan it in my head, then I go, let's do this.
Yeah.
And you're quite sceptical a lot of the time.
I should go with it. You ever seen that movie? Just go with it. Just go with it.
Oh, do you know what film I did watch at the weekend actually? Called Spirited on Apple. Do you have Apple TV?
No, not an Apple person.
You will hate it.
No.
Yeah.
You will hate it. It's a musical.
Oh.
I'm glad you're proud to tell him that he would.
No, honestly, you would hate it. Him and his girlfriend, fiance, went to a musical and walked out halfway.
Not even halfway. I was like, no.
He does.
We won't mention which one. Are you okay?
It just makes me laugh.
I hate musicals.
Yeah, I mean, they both went no and walked out.
I was forced to watch Hamilton, which is 4 hours of what should have been 20 minutes.
Is that 4 hours?
It's something like 3 hours, 4 hours. It should be 20 minutes.
Did you watch it on stage or did you watch it on telly?
On telly, thankfully.
I mean, our Libby was watching that the other day when she was hungover.
Hamilton.
Hi, Libby. Yeah. It's a musical of the founding fathers.
Don't even.
I definitely don't want to
But the
watch
whole
it.
thing, it's not a play. It's just the whole thing is sung. So if you were to listen to it on Spotify, you've basically listened to the whole thing.
No way. That is my worst nightmare. That is
It's
actually
4
my
hours.
worst nightmare.
And you know what's going to happen at the end, and you're like, okay, that's it, revolution's done. And then you look at it, it's like, why is there still an hour and a half left?
I honestly.
Oh no.
So I was watching Spirited, which has Ryan Reynolds in, so we digress. Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, and they sing in bits of that, and it's a little bit weird, but it's a really lovely ending. But I was thinking, can I take
I like them both though.
Do you know what? It's a really nice Christmas film. It's a nice Christmas film.
Just turn on mute when they're singing.
Do you know what they're singing is funny? Like it's a bit. Anyway, give it a watch. It's Apple TV if you want to sponsor me.
Started watching Wednesday.
You watched Wednesday?
No, but we started watching The Addamses to start at the very beginning.
I love the. I used to like the Addams fun when I was young. It was in black and white.
I really like Wednesday. You said it wasn't good.
I said it could. No, I said it could have been darker.
Darker.
I said it could have been more grim. Is what I said. It could have been more violent. Is what I felt.
Based from the originals.
Like literally, she gets to be too nice. She was never nice.
I think it's like a social comment. It's like putting all the outcasts in one place together. I think it's definitely about neurodiversity. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
If you looked at it, like, think about it.
I think.
Giving stuff away.
I think it could have been grimmer. I
Giving
think
stuff
it
away.
could have been grimmer.
Well, I think it's definitely a comment on neurodiversity.
I think.
Definitely.
I mean, I think you're looking at that too deep.
No,
I think
swear.
you are. I think you are.
They do.
Hey, comment on it, everyone.
They do like to put in lots of hidden messages in
Tim
modern
Burns.
Tim.
stuff.
Tim Burns. Oh, like,
It's
Tim like we know him. It's Tim. You know, Tim. Oh, you mean Mr. Burton?
Yeah.
Alright.
Love Tim.
Maybe we should tag him in it.
I will.
Let's tag him in this.
Sure.
Sorry, Tim, I really like it, but I think it could have been darker. I think it's too light. Is there any advice you'd like to give to a young person that maybe thinks they are neurodivergent? Because that's kind of that's the overarching theme, or the overarching term. Thank you. Not theme, not theme part, but
speak out.
Yeah, or just say.
Be confident.
Yeah, it's okay that maybe you don't get things the way other people get them. I always
Doesn't
think
matter
because you'll get something differently. And actually, here we have usually kids between 9 and 11.
Yeah.
And I think there's somebody there that has the answer to global warming, because I think it'll take somebody that thinks out of that box to go, actually, this is the answer.
Definitely.
Because unless you haven't got creativity, then you can't problem solve in a way. And the scientific community sometimes is very linear. Like you go to school, you go to uni.
But also so many famous people like Albert Einstein and so many others.
Who's the man that?
I love Elon Musk.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes, see, he got it. Leonardo da Vinci. He was
Why are you flying?
He made
because
wings.
he made wings, but also the drawing he made.
He was copying Zacharias, the Greek god. Flew too close to the sun and melted.
So this is the type of child you don't like about art.
I had to study it for my project. So.
But he also did that drawing with the man in the middle and the arms.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jesus.
I love that. Yeah, and I think you're right. Speak out. Just say it's okay. I think it is
Find the positives of what makes you you, and without it, you wouldn't be the person you are today. So find the positives. Find the things that are amazing.
I think that's what the message we try and give all young people here, because we're supporters of the LBGT. Thank you, community, and we say that to people. You are who you are, and that, and you know, as long as you're a kind, compassionate person, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And I think we don't teach kids fundamentally that's who we are.
Yeah.
And fundamentally that's who you should be, and that's, I think, is some of the core problems why we've got a lot of unhappiness. And I think
because there's a social pressure they should be doing more than just being who they are.
Exactly.
Or we teach kids to do things one way.
Yeah.
Like you will sit down and learn this, or you will sit down and learn that.
Can't learn it in that way, you're wrong.
But the reality is there's so many different routes around everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see things, I always knew I saw things differently.
Yeah.
But I don't know how different that is when you start talking to other people.
It's really hard. I remember always being asked the question, oh, so what's it like being dyslexic? It's like, sorry, I've never not been dyslexic. It's not like I woke up one day and went, oh, I can't spell, man.
You know what, yesterday I was such a good speller, and today, rubbish.
It's just how I've always been, so it's normal for me. It's what I wake up to expect.
How can you know any different? Like how you see the world through the sea world. Like we work with Amy, and Amy sees things in colours.
Yeah.
Like she's very visual that way, so she attaches colours to things.
Really?
You know.
Yeah.
So she'll say so she'll say, I don't know, trees. I'm using a really bad example. I was going to say green, but she'll say like sounds have colours.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know how you had your list? My brother remembers telephones and long lists of things using colour patterns, so he will remember like a really long digit code by using the colour patterns, and that will trigger the memories for him.
I'm over here and can't even see things in my mind.
So have we talked about this before in our podcast?
Don't know.
It's got a name, I can't remember the name of it.
So,
Yes,
now, do you want to tell Dylan how you found out?
At my interview, because Louise was like, imagine you're in a cave, imagine! What were you trying to get me to imagine?
Imagine an elephant.
An elephant. I said, well, I can't imagine things in my head. I can't see things in my head. And then we googled it.
I find it crazy because for me, images are everything. My whole brain works off of seeing, and as soon as you start speaking, my brain is fabricating a whole scene almost.
That's wild. That is actually the same. Maybe you've got hyperphantasia.
I think I've got, and really you can't see any images, like none.
Yeah.
So if you say to him, imagine an apple, you can't see it.
But the sad thing about that is as soon as you look away
sad.
from someone, you can't see your face.
No. That's why I'm so bad with remembering people. I physically can't remember them.
I struggle with remembering names, so when I go to anything, I can't remember the name, but I can point out a face. I know the image of what they look like.
I'm the opposite. I've got their name locked and loaded, but I can't tell you who it's attached to.
I can usually pick out a gait, how people walk. So if I've met somebody before, it's not just their face, it's the way they look, it's the way they walk.
Yeah.
Everything about them is kind of imprinted.
Body language.
Yeah, body language, the whole thing. Yeah, but it's quite interesting because it's not held you back.
I don't know. Maybe I was a genius.
Yeah, but we all function, even though.
Who knows?
Even though all three of us have such a different way of processing and remembering, we still all function. We're still all adults.
Yeah, but we function really well.
Adults are really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brag about that. I mean, I'm just old, doesn't mean I'm an adult. But I think your point's valid. Is that we all see things slightly differently, and even though you don't see images, you do good work.
You learn to cope. You manage your own ways. Obviously, I've never seen things in my head. I just assumed that was normal. I thought people were lying when they see things in their head.
You did, didn't you? You were like, well, people were lying. And I was like, no, definitely can see it. But actually, when we speak to the kids, there's quite a few kids that can't. It's interesting, isn't it?
I put one in every session.
My question is, do you dream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not often, but yes. And it's visual.
Is it in colour?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Quite a lot of people dream in black and white, don't they?
Really?
I don't know, because I only dream in colour.
Well, no, I definitely dream in colour. But I can't.
Sad if I dreamed in black and white.
Imagine that.
I don't think I can hear much in my dreams, but I can see.
That's
Never
weird,
hear
isn't it?
things. Yeah.
I'm gonna shout at you.
But look at you now. You don't imagine things, and look now, you're a project manager at Absafe. I mean, you literally live in the dream.
Made it. Yeah.
Couldn't see your future, but you're now living it.
Yeah, it's it.
Live in the dream. You can't dream a dream, but you live
Living
the
it.
dream. I've got new trainers on, by the way. I just want to point this out. But I just want to mention
Can you
them.
pick them up here?
I just
There we go.
That's an impressive soul.
They're gorgeous.
Thank you. It's not my favourite colour, but they only had them in this colour, which is a bit of
You
disappointment.
want silver, didn't you?
I did want silver actually, but these are what I got anyway. But they're really comfortable. Just thought I'd share that with you, and they were in the sale, so that made me happy. Anyway, to finish off, I digress. Thank you for coming. I think it's really good that we have positive role models for people that may be watching this, or maybe adults that maybe haven't really thought about why they struggle with certain aspects of their life.
Yeah.
And I think us three are actually a really good example of how different we are, but we've got a commonality. I think there's a commonality between us that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Because even though you're a bit weird and you can't see stuff, and I'm a bit weird because I can see too much. And you're just a genius. Yeah, you're. Is that as long as it doesn't really matter. As long as you're a decent person and work hard, it doesn't really matter how you get there. As long as you have that as your core value, then everybody should be different. Because what's the point of everybody being the same?
Yeah.
Because then you get the same outcome. So I think it's about a celebration of difference, whether it's
difference but the same.
The same, yeah. So whether you're neurodivergent, however you see that label or not, see it, have it as a label, don't have it as a label. But even in your sexuality, your preferences, the way that you identify, whether you are a she or he or them, it doesn't really matter actually. I mean, it does matter, but actually what matters is that we're all kind to each other, I guess. So I think that's my part. That's how I feel at the minute. It's my part in.
Your mind drop. mic drop moment.
It's also pushing to your dreams. Like when I was in high school, even though I was really struggling with English and maths, I pushed myself to do higher and I think I got a C at both.
That's amazing.
So I knew that I would struggle, but I pushed it because I knew that I would need it, and I wanted to prove that I could do it. Even if I did get a C, I was still happy that I could achieve higher English.
But on that, I'm going to do a mic drop.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you
very
listening.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, and good luck, and we'll hashtag all your bits and bobs on if you let us know.
Yeah.
Is that bits and bobs? What was that? You laughing at me?
I knew exactly what you meant, so that's important.
I had a different wrong image going on.
I literally did my hair yesterday as well, so my hair.
Bye.
I'm safe, is ace.